Arthritis is a health condition that affects millions of people around the world, bringing pain, swelling, and difficulty moving the joints. If you live with this condition, you know how essential it is to manage the symptoms in order to live better. But what many people don't realize is that what you put on your plate could be making things worse. That's right. There are certain foods common in our routine that, without us noticing, may be fueling inflammation and making arthritis pain even more intense. In this video, I'm going to show you the 10 worst foods you should avoid if you want to protect your joint health and reduce discomfort. Food number 1. Refined sugars. Refined sugars are major enemies for those dealing with arthritis. They appear in many everyday products like cookies, cakes, sodas, and even ready-made sauces. The big issue with these sugars is their ability to stimulate inflammatory processes in the body, worsening symptoms like joint pain and swelling. When you consume this type of sugar, it causes a rapid increase in blood glucose. This spike can trigger inflammatory reactions, which is especially harmful for those already suffering from arthritis. Additionally, excessive sugar intake can lead to weight gain, which puts more strain on the joints and makes the situation even worse. Therefore, anyone dealing with arthritis should avoid refined sugars as much as possible. A healthier alternative is to opt for fresh fruits, which contain natural sugars and also provide fiber and important nutrients. By making this switch, you help reduce inflammation and improve well-being, with less pain and more joint comfort. Food number 2. Refined flours and carbohydrates. Refined carbohydrates are those that have gone through industrial processing, which removes most of their important nutrients like fiber and vitamins. They are found in items such as white bread, regular pasta, polished rice, cakes, and sweets in general. Once ingested, these foods quickly turn into sugar in the bloodstream, just like refined sugars. This rapid increase in blood sugar can promote inflammation in the body, which is terrible for those with arthritis. Inflammation is directly linked to the symptoms of this condition, such as pain and swelling, and consuming refined carbohydrates can make the situation worse. Furthermore, because they are low in nutritional value, these foods do not support joint health and can also contribute to weight gain. If you live with arthritis, it's essential to cut back on these foods and choose more wholesome options, such as whole grain breads, brown rice, whole grain pasta, and less processed grains. These foods release energy more slowly, better regulating blood sugar levels and helping to prevent inflammation. With these changes, it's possible to ease symptoms and have a more comfortable daily life. Food number 3. Trans fats. Trans fats are among the worst types of fats for those with arthritis. They are found in many processed foods we consume without thinking, like margarine, sandwich cookies, snacks, store-bought cakes, and fast food fries. This fat is artificially created through a process called hydrogenation, which turns liquid oils into solids to extend product shelf life. The problem is that these fats increase inflammation levels in the body. For those already suffering from arthritis, this means more pain, more swelling, and even stiffer joints. Although inflammation is a natural reaction of the body to damage, when it becomes chronic, as in arthritis, it causes even more discomfort and limitation. Another important point is that trans fats also harm cardiovascular health. Individuals with arthritis already have a higher risk of heart disease, and consuming this type of fat increases that risk. Therefore, cutting this type of fat from your diet brings benefits not only for the joints, but also for the heart. A useful tip is to always check product labels. Words like partially hydrogenated oil indicate the presence of trans fats. Choose natural foods like fruits, vegetables, lean meats, and whole grains. When cooking, go for healthier oils like extra virgin olive oil or avocado oil, which help fight inflammation. Food number 4. Processed and cured meats. Processed meats are items that should be avoided by those living with arthritis. Examples include sausage, bacon, ham, salami, and other products that go through chemical processes to last longer or enhance flavor. Although they are convenient and tasty, these foods are highly inflammatory, which is harmful for people with arthritis. They usually contain compounds like nitrites and purines, which promote inflammation and can worsen symptoms such as joint pain and swelling. Since inflammation is one of the main factors that aggravate arthritis, frequently eating processed meats only increases discomfort and can make daily activities more difficult. Furthermore, these products are rich in saturated fats, which also contribute to inflammation and weight gain. And excess weight puts additional strain on the joints, further worsening the condition. If you want to take good care of your joints, it's best to eliminate or drastically reduce these meats and opt for healthier alternatives like chicken, fish, and lean cuts of beef. These options are less inflammatory and offer important nutrients for the body. When preparing your meals, prefer cooking methods such as baking, grilling, or steaming instead of frying or using ready-made sauces, which may also contain inflammatory ingredients. Food number 5, refined vegetable oils. Oils such as soybean, corn, and canola are widely used in everyday cooking and are also present in many processed foods like fried items and ready-made sauces. However, for those with arthritis, consuming these oils can be harmful. This happens because they contain large amounts of omega-6 fatty acid. In excess, omega-6 promotes inflammation. Although this type of fat is essential in small amounts, the problem lies in the imbalance between it and omega-3, which has anti-inflammatory effects. Modern diets, in general, have much more omega-6 than omega-3, and this imbalance contributes to ongoing inflammation in the body, intensifying symptoms such as joint pain and stiffness. Moreover, these oils go through industrial processes that strip away natural nutrients and may leave harmful residue. That's why it's worth reducing the use of these oils and opting for more natural and healthy alternatives like extra virgin olive oil or avocado oil. These oils are rich in healthy fats and help protect the joints. Another important tip is to increase the intake of foods that are sources of omega-3, such as cold water fish, flax seeds, and chia seeds, as they help restore the balance between omega-6 and omega-3 in the body. Food number 6, dairy products. Products like milk, cheese, butter, and yogurt are a part of many people's diets, but anyone suffering from arthritis should pay close attention to them. These foods contain a protein called casein, which in some people can trigger inflammatory reactions in the joints. This protein can activate the immune system, especially in those with sensitivity, and this may lead to more inflammation and worsen symptoms such as pain, stiffness, and swelling. In addition, studies suggest that excessive consumption of dairy products may be associated with increased inflammation, especially in people with autoimmune diseases like rheumatoid arthritis. Another important point is that many of these products are high in saturated fats, which contribute to weight gain. And when there's excess weight, the joints experience even more pressure, which intensifies symptoms and limits mobility. For this reason, reducing the intake of dairy products may help relieve some of the pressure on the joints and ease the pain. A good alternative for those living with arthritis is to replace dairy with plant-based versions, such as drinks and yogurts made from almonds, coconut, or oats. These options do not contain casein and are usually better tolerated. Another helpful tip is to increase the consumption of calcium-rich plant-based foods, such as dark leafy greens and sesame seeds. That way, you strengthen your bones without relying on traditional dairy. Food number 7, alcoholic beverages. Alcohol, although common at social gatherings or during leisure time, can be quite harmful for those dealing with arthritis. It directly contributes to the worsening of symptoms, and understanding how this happens can make a big difference. First of all, alcohol contributes to increased inflammation in the body, something already present in the joints of those who suffer from arthritis. When alcohol is consumed, the body may respond with inflammatory processes, resulting in more intense pain, greater swelling, and even stiffer joints. This happens because alcohol interferes with the immune system, making the body more susceptible to exaggerated inflammatory responses. Furthermore, many alcoholic drinks are high in calories and sugar, which can lead to weight gain. The extra weight puts additional strain on the joints, especially the knees and hips, further increasing discomfort. Another critical factor is alcohol's interference with medications used in arthritis treatment. People who regularly use anti-inflammatory drugs or painkillers may find their effectiveness reduced when consuming alcohol, along with an increased risk of unwanted side effects. Therefore, it is best to avoid or at least significantly limit alcohol consumption. Instead, opt for healthier beverages like natural juices, herbal teas, or simply lemon water. These choices help control inflammation and also promote better overall body function. Food number 8, excess salt. Salt is present in most dishes we consume, but for those with arthritis, it can worsen the symptoms. Understanding how excessive salt intake affects the joints is essential for anyone looking to reduce pain and live more comfortably. When too much salt is consumed, the body tends to retain more fluid, which can increase internal pressure in inflamed joints. This intensifies pain, swelling, and restricted movement, making symptoms even more bothersome for arthritis sufferers. Moreover, high salt intake is directly linked to elevated blood pressure. Hypertension compromises blood circulation, which can hinder the delivery of nutrients to the joints. Without an adequate supply of nutrients, joints lose strength and health, worsening arthritis symptoms over time. Another important detail is that many processed foods, such as chips, canned goods, and ready-to-eat meals, are extremely high in salt. Not only do they increase daily sodium intake, but they also often contain harmful fats, which further promote inflammation. For those living with arthritis, reducing salt is a simple yet effective strategy. This can be achieved by choosing fresh foods, cooking with less salt, and avoiding processed products. Instead of regular salt, you can enhance the flavor of your meals with natural seasonings, aromatic herbs, or lemon juice, healthier and equally tasty options. Food number 9, additives like monosodium glutamate. Monosodium glutamate, or MSG, is an additive widely used in processed foods and ready-to-eat meals to enhance flavor. However, for people with arthritis, it can be a major problem. This additive is known to stimulate inflammatory processes in the body. Since inflammation is what causes pain and discomfort in the joints of those with arthritis, consuming MSG can significantly worsen symptoms. Glutamate may also affect the nervous system and trigger the release of substances that increase swelling and joint pain. In some people, it can even cause reactions like headache, a feeling of warmth, or stomach discomfort, making daily life even more difficult for those already dealing with chronic joint pain. MSG is commonly found in instant soups, processed seasonings, frozen foods, and meals served in some restaurants. That's why it's essential to check product labels carefully and choose versions that do not contain this additive. The best way to avoid MSG is to prepare your own meals at home using fresh, natural ingredients. Additionally, you can season your food with garlic, onions, fresh herbs, or mild peppers. Healthy and flavorful ways to bring your dishes to life without resorting to inflammatory additives. Food number 10, fried foods. Fried foods, though tasty and popular, are among the most harmful for those suffering from arthritis. When fried, foods absorb large amounts of oil, significantly increasing their content of unhealthy fats. Trans and saturated fats, commonly found in these preparations, are known to worsen inflammation, which is already a persistent issue for people with arthritis. Frequent consumption of fried foods intensifies this inflammation, potentially increasing pain, swelling, and joint stiffness. In addition, fried foods are high in calories and contribute to weight gain. As mentioned earlier, excess weight overloads the joints, especially in the legs and spine, amplifying discomfort. Another concern is the high sodium content in these foods, which can lead to fluid retention. This further increases joint pressure and worsens symptoms, making everyday life even more challenging. Therefore, if you want to protect your joints and reduce pain, the best option is to avoid fried foods, or at least significantly cut back on them. Instead of frying, choose to bake, grill, or steam your meals. These methods keep the food tasty, but without the negative effects of frying. Adopting a more balanced diet is a powerful step in managing arthritis and improving your quality of life. Avoiding foods that promote inflammation, such as fried items, is a simple change that can have a huge impact on your daily well-being. And if you want to keep learning how to better take care of your health, check out this next video. In it, you'll find more practical and effective tips to transform your routine and protect your joints.